Hello there. Very nice to see you all. My name is Clayton Holz. I lead the product and design team at a company called Wisq, and I'm excited to talk to you today about building an AI HR generalist. So Wisq builds Harper, which we dub the world's first AI HR generalist. I'm going to talk about some principles that we've learned from deploying Harper in companies that might help you in your agentic AI journey. Our mission at Wisq is to make HR work like magic. We come from a team of HR industry veterans. We've been in HR tech for a long time. We're the founding team of Glint and some of the early executives at Glassdoor and Lattice and a few other companies. We go to work for customers like Boundless and Breeze Airways, multinational companies, companies with large frontline workforces, really all different shapes and sizes, finding ways for AI to go to work at these companies. So let's talk about these product principles. We're going to talk about honor what's unique about HR, be a teammate, not a tool, meet employees where they're at, continuous learning, and daring to let AI do more. Okay, so the first one is that we want to honor what's unique about HR when we deploy AI. Look, the main models that we're using now, the Claude and ChatGPT that we use every day, they're amazing. I am shocked at how powerful and good they are. But there are certain attributes of the models that don't naturally align well with HR use cases. In particular, two that I'll call out are probabilism and sycophancy or people pleasing. And probabilism is unlike software that came before it. If you ask the exact same question to a model 100 times, you will get different answers. And that's a feature. That's part of the beauty and expressiveness of these different AI models. But in the world of HR, being consistent is more important. The second is the natural tendency to be people pleasing that's trained into the way that the models work. And so in HR, knowing what to say and what not to say is equally important. The models will want to give you good answers and say yes, but your job is to be consistent and fair and abide by policy. So we have to do a lot of work to make this possible with these super powerful models. So a given interaction with Harper has anywhere from 7 to 20 different AI model calls, and we're adding more all the time. Each of these is hitting different AI models that are fit for purpose. We're checking things like guardrails, triage paths, inconsistency checks. We do live hallucination detection. We do all sorts of policy cleanup. And this is to ensure that Harper doesn't just answer correctly 1 out of 1 time, but 100 out of 100 times. The second big thing that we and you will have to do is simulations. Again, seeing that an AI model does what you want once is not proof to me. I need to see it 20 out of 20 times, 50 out of 50 times. And so we're continuously running live simulations in customer environments. We get an idea of what good looks like, and we test that every day to make sure that Harper is continuing to behave that way. The second is that I really encourage you to think about AI like a teammate, not a tool. This is a little bit scary and off-putting to me. But AI can do more than software could before. And it's better to frame it as a teammate because AI needs management. It needs a concept of onboarding. They don't just work out of the box and amazingly do everything in that your department needs. The second is that we at Wisq aspire to be a teammate to you, not just a tool. The models and AI in general are changing rapidly. I was just talking to a guy on the side, and what was possible 12 months ago, 9 months ago, 6 months ago, and at Christmas has rapidly changed. And you don't want to have to worry about that. You don't want to have to worry about Cloud 4.6 versus Cloud 4.5, some nuance of a RAG system. You want us to worry about that. And to that end, I believe that you should partner. It would be best to partner with someone who understands the technology deeply, but also understands HR deeply. So we aspire to be like a teammate to you, not just a tool. And then last, we want AI to act like a trusted teammate. And there's so much cool stuff that is possible now with AI. Harper can be proactive, transparent, and communicative in a way that a static dashboard wasn't able to be before. The third, you all know very well, behavior change in an HR context is incredibly hard. And as much as I want everyone to come to our web app, I know that they're not going to do that. In fact, something like 97% of interactions that employees have with Harper are in Slack, Teams, email, and ticketing systems. And that's the future. That's where they're going to be. And the beauty with rolling out agentic AI into your environment is that your people don't have to change their behavior. They can keep doing what they were doing before. And Harper is now just an employee who's there and helping out. So she has an email address and sits in these systems as another employee would. There's also a lot of chatter about emerging standards here. So A2A and MCP and all this stuff. Transparently, as someone on the edge and looking to see what's possible. This is mostly ideas, concepts, things that are still being tested. They're not really live in production environments yet. But we and others are kind of testing and pushing these. This is, again, why you need a partner. You don't want to worry about A2A standard changing because it changed in February, or MCP announcing some new thing. You want us to worry about that. The fourth is a big one. I think this is a common misconception. People have this idea that AI learns on its own. So they give an answer and you say, hey, that wasn't good, or I didn't like that. The model doesn't innately learn and pick that up. The lab, OpenAI, may use that data in a future training run. But in order for AI to get better and better in your organization, you need to have a learning loop in place. I think this is really, really, really important. I can talk about how we do this at Wisq. We start by being humble. So out of the box, Harper is going to hand off things where there is inconsistency, lack of clarity. She's not quite sure. There's a policy interpretation that she doesn't know of. And that's by design. Other models, to the previous point, will go ahead and kind of waltz in and give answers where maybe you don't want that answer to be given. Maybe you don't want that policy to be interpreted that way. But on the backside, we're going to surface that to admins and say, hey, these are the things that I wasn't able to do well last week. How would you like me to handle these going forward? This looks like a knowledge gap. This looks like maybe a policy that we don't have access to. This looks like a system access issue that an employee is asking for something for Harper to do, but Harper can't do yet, or an action or a workflow that you'd like Harper to take. In addition, we can mine your historical data to do some of this stuff. So if you have prior data in a ticketing system or an email system, we can look through that and say, oh, here are the opportunities for us to help. So you maybe don't have to do that analysis. And then the last one is I would encourage us to dare to let AI do more. I know this is self-serving coming from someone who works in the AI field. But look, this is a time of tremendous change. For me personally, as a product builder, Thanksgiving of last year was an inflection point. And I'm a member of product communities of other PMs and designers. And we're all having the same panic that y'all are having with respect to AI's impact in your field. And a lot of the things that I thought weren't possible and that only I uniquely could do are no longer things that I can uniquely do. And to give you an idea, I often kick off tasks that I know how to do. And I will say, I need to do this analysis and figure out the right way to, extract this piece of information, whatever. And I will independently send that to Claude or Codex and have them do the thing. And what I'm finding now is that in almost all cases, the AI got to the same or better outcome as I did in 7 minutes as opposed to 2 hours or a half day. And so I would encourage you to think about giving away your toys. This is a time of experimentation. You need to be thinking about giving away these workflows, giving away some of the things that you're doing and experimenting with them. Because the experiment that you ran in June, those results are no longer valid. There's an opportunity now to do more than you thought possible. Okay, so we are Harper and Wisq, the world's first AI HR generalist. We'd love to chat. If you want to talk about applying agentic AI to your HR operations, come chat with us, or just AI in general. We're at booth 151. My name is Clayton. Thank you.